The cars away to come out onto the grids. And one of the other things that's so special about this championship from a personal point of view is we can see the cars going round here. We'll go through the grid in just a couple of seconds here, but from myself and your point of view, Andy, we've got a very personal connection to quite a few of these drivers, because doing the SMRC esports, quite a few of these drivers took part in the esports event, and see very young drivers and seeing them on the grid. It's an incredibly proud moment, isn't it?
Absolutely, and it's a testament to the success of our esports initiative as well. We've got our championship leader, Sam Corson, participated in our SMRC esports, and he is leading the way at the top of the standings as well, and he will start this one from the third row of the grid. But that's just, it shows that jump from virtual to reality is happening. You can do it, and this is a fantastic platform to go and enjoy some real life motor racing.
Yeah, we'll keep our eye on the point standings throughout the course of the day. That's how they line up just now. Grid wise, it's going to be Aidan Wilson on pole position with Callum Conway alongside him, Mark Nisbet on row 2 alongside Ross Dunn in 4th position. 5th position, Thomas Comer and Sam Corson, two of the drivers that we saw regularly through the esports. Andrew Davidson alongside Paul Winfield on row 4. Finlay Brunton alongside Rich Flett. Surprised to see Finlay Brunton down in P9, but we'll see him making a charge. James Hitchin in 11th position with the Lazou Benet in 12th position, and then row 7 is going to be Henry Gillespie and Ian Cochrane, Gordon Melville and Katrina Gray on row 8, and then John Proctor at the back in the number 17 car. So that's how we have it on the grid for this first race of the day here. I can't believe we're already on to race 3 here, Andy.
Absolutely, Dave. You know, it's the action has been frantic throughout, and this race will be a very interesting one. I have to say, I'm looking forward to seeing how Aidan Wilson gets on from pole position here. He's another driver that we mentioned has gone from virtual to reality. This is his debut season in motor racing. He is in our Newcomers Championship, and you know, this is going to be a really good opportunity for him here. If he can get that clean start, he could really go on and impress here. So the blue car on the outside, that's the one to keep an eye on here. Callum Conway alongside him as well, very quick driver into the bargain. So I think this is going to be an interesting one here, Dave, as we just see the final cars taking their grid positions for the start of this one. And interestingly as well, do you think the track is just beginning to dry out a little bit?
I think it is much drier than when we started the broadcast earlier on this morning. I think it's significantly drier, purely because of the wind as well. Helps blow the moisture off of the track surface as well. I mean, you look at that start-finish camera that we've got here. A huge thank you to the cameramen and women that we've got on board here today at AJK TV. Always top quality pictures that we get here. But yeah, the track looks absolutely dry. There are damp patches for sure, but it does look like a very favourable condition here for the start of the race. The green flag flies in for our third race of the day. It's going to be a 10-lap race here for the Scottish C1 Cup in association with the SMTA, and we get ready to go green flag and we get ready to go racing again. Just to remind you, Aidan Wilson on pole position, Callum Conway in second, Mark Nisbet in third, Ross Dunn in 4th position. That's your top 4 right now. The championship is so finely balanced, 100 points, and there are about 4 cars in with it. But as I say, it's all about balance, consistency and precision in the race. The red lights go on here for the third race of the day, and we get underway. It's a great start on the outside for Callum Conway. Gets the jump, the tyres spinning, screeching, squealing into life here, and they finally get their way down towards Duffus Dip for the first time of asking, and the car's making their way through. So again, that was a really good start for Callum Conway, who takes the lead of this race, going down into McIntyre's end for the first time. And again, this is going to be trying to really gauge how the track is feeling there. A little bit of shoulders out there. That's the 822. That's Paul Winfield that's in amongst there as well. We can see some of the cars there side by side coming through the chicane, and really this is where some of the best action can be found to cut your teeth as a newcomer to saloon car racing here, Andy.
Yeah, this championship, we speak to a lot of the drivers out there, they say momentum is so important, Dave, and you're almost seeing this initially here from the opening lap. The cars all just forming into bunches. It's about working together, particularly in the first few laps, to really close the gap to the cars in front, and then you can make the moves later in the race. One car there just having a little bit of a nibble going into the hairpin there. Just looks like it. Yeah, there it is. It is the 88 car there of Henry Gillespie, who is in our Newcomers Championship there. Good bold move up on the inside, and it looks like he has made the position as well.
Now that you can hear the tyres squealing into life, and one of the things that always caught me by surprise when learning about the championship is absolutely launched over the curb there is the 24 there. That's Aidan Wilson trying to get involved here. Is the tyre pressures that are involved in here. So obviously when you're doing car racing, you think normal tyre pressures, you want to kind of keep them about sort of 30 psi. That's usually for sports car racing, that's about the optimal. It's usually maybe even a bit too hot. However, these things, I know for a fact that these guys crank the PSIs up to about 50 to 60 PSI on them.
It's an interesting one, isn't it? It's the beauty of this championship is the cars you can't do much to them, but tyre pressures do have a massive impact, particularly later in the year when the temperatures start to drop, the air temperatures down, the track temperatures down, and it can have an influence on proceedings here. We just see the 68 of Sam Corson on the outside there. He's got 4 cars around him here as our championship leader. They're all bunched up there, but all the meanwhile it is Callum Conway still leading the race, the blue car of Aidan Wilson down into second, and then we have Mark Nisbet on the final step of the podium as things stand. It's
just like a gaggle of 6 cars in that midfield group there. You've got Thomas Comer, Sam Corson, Paul Winfield, James Hitchin in there as well, and they're all trying to absolutely send it coming down into to McIntyre's. Then you can see a little bit of damage on the inside of Sam Corson's machine there. You've got the 529 and James Hitchin all over him. Fastest lap of the race there for James Hitchin here, but it's still Callum Conway in the lead. As you see side by side then, that's going to be the number 70, and that's Andrew Davidson having a little bit of a tiff there with Finlay Brunton, who sends it up the inside there. Now for me, I'm watching Aidan Wilson. How much do you think of this, Andy? Is Aidan Wilson just, he's waiting for his opportunity there? He's tucked up in the inside of Callum Conway there, as we're seeing Martin Nisbet struggling to get that car stopped in time.
Yeah, Callum and Aidan both lapping almost identical times here, and Aidan's just tucking in behind the draft here, opting not to go side by side down the straight. Will he perhaps throw the car out going into Duffus? 0.2 of a second is the gap between them, and we've got Martin Nisbet hot on their heels as well, alongside about half a dozen cars as well. But anyway, it looks like Callum's, I think, still got the lead here. Yes, he has. Aidan decides to think better of it. Will he throw the car up the inside here into McIntyre's? And this is the thing as well, David, that is a passing place. Aidan did almost try to do it, but Callum just coming offline ever so slightly, just to fend off any threat of the 24 car making a move.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is Aidan Wilson, it does look like this is a very balanced performance from Aidan. He is waiting very patiently, but I'm a little bit nervous because you're seeing Mark Nisbet there, and Nisbet looks very, very aggressive. He wants to take this position right now. However, this might be it. That was a great run out from Aidan Wilson. He moves to the outside. This is not what he's done on the previous laps then. He's got the run over Callum Conway. They're going to be side by side coming down in towards backstretch. This move might be done before we even get into the braking point. Look at the car squirreling under braking there. Great move from Aidan Wilson. Gets that position done, and that leaves Mark Nisbet up to take second place potentially from Aidan Wilson. So Aidan Wilson, getting the lead of the race here. Callum Conway trying to get back here. In fact, they're going to be side by side, almost coming across the line. Yeah, the ABS kicking in there for Aidan just under braking, and I think that has cost him a little bit of speed there on exit. So it looks like Callum Conway could retake the lead of this race here potentially. Side by side it goes into Duffus, but Aidan Wilson takes a massive amount of curb and retains the lead of this race. Conway's not done yet though. Side by side they go into McIntyre's, and Callum Conway goes back into the lead of the race, but we've got Mark Nisbet to contend with as well in the 117 car, almost too wide into the chicane. Surely not. Side by side once more. Aidan Wilson gets it very, very loose, so he goes down the order.
But Callum Conway in the red car still has the lead of the race, but Mark Nisbet now goes up the inside into Clark, side by side once more. Nisbet looks like he's got the move. Look at this once more, Dave, side by side into the hairpin. We're almost going 3 wide.
I'm telling you right now, C1 racing is probably some of the best action value for money that you are ever going to get anywhere in the UK. Late on the brakes, very, very late on the brakes. I think there was a tap from behind there from Mark Nisbet up into the lead. You wouldn't believe it. James Hitchin is going to be thanking his lucky stars from absolutely nowhere, followed by what looks like 20,000 C1s coming over the hill here at Knockhill. It is just a gaggle. There is 10 cars in the space of 0.3 of a second. How is that even possible, Andy?
Phenomenal racing here at Knockhill. It's always entertaining in the C1s, and this is just a fantastic example of it. Absolutely fantastic action throughout, but it's James Hitchin who now takes the race lead and a 0.4 of a second lead into the bargain. Side by side, Wilson having another move going into McIntyre's. Looks like he's made that one stick, and Mark Nisbet is going to be on the outside. He doesn't want to be there going into the chicane, so good bit of driving from Aidan Wilson. But all the meanwhile, James Hitchin is really just pulling away, and this is just an ideal situation for him here because the laps, there's only about 5 laps or so to go in this one, and James Hitchin could find himself here with a very strong chance of taking a maximum points haul because the grid now is beginning just to spread out a little bit, Dave.
Yeah, as fun as that was, that is now a huge gap that's opened up to James Hitchin there. And while these cars are great fun and capable of doing many, many big things, catching up a 2-second gap there is into the corner is the number 1, Ross Dunn there. I thought there was almost certainly going to be contact there, and thankfully the two of them avoid it there. But that is a big, big gap opened up by James Hitchin. However, I do think that has come down very, very slightly as they go across line. It hasn't. It's extended by 0.2 of a second. In fact, make that a whole second now as Callum Conway into second place then. Aidan Wilson in third, 1.6 seconds behind. And that was a huge launch over the curb for James Hitchin. He is absolutely on it, and make no mistake, he is there by absolute talent. It is not a mistake or an accident that he's up there in the lead of this race. Such as the quality of these little C1s, it's just absolutely breathtaking stuff right now. Callum Conway in no man's land right now. Aidan Wilson in third position, but have a look at Thomas Comer in 8th position. Sam Corson as well down in a P10. That shows you how intense this race has been. Yeah,
it certainly does. All the meanwhile, Finlay Brunton's moved up to 7th place amid all that drama as well. So really strong race from him so far into 7th place. But all the meanwhile, we're seeing a little bit more drama here just further back. There is the 13 car of Finlay Brunton, who is just looking to try and get the power down here on exit. Can he make the move? Potentially looks like he's coming out of the draft, but thinks better of it, so he's going to try and just take that momentum with him, perhaps make the move into McIntyre's, as Aidan Wilson has proven that he can do that. And yeah, it's a very, very interesting action throughout the field here in the C1 Cup.
I do wonder actually if the cars are maybe just trying to, oh my good lord, that was wild from James Hitchin. That moment when you're mid-sentence and you just see a C1 come flying over the hill at Duffus like a pogo stick. That was incredible there from James Hitchin in the lead there. Watching the 822, a bit of a roadblock here from Paul Winfield up the inside. That is the number 70 Andrew Davidson, side by side. Wow, proper rallycross action here. And I'm starting to lose track of actually what is going on here, Andy, because this is just getting really, really crazy.
Yeah, tricky place to make a move on the outside going into the chicane there really for Andrew Davidson, and it has compromised him here because he's got a train of 3 cars on his inside, so he is going to go tumbling down the order. Finlay Brunton meanwhile will have to go defensive here, and he's done that very, very early. He's committed here. He'll have to get hard on the brakes. He is just falling behind ever so slightly, but he has crucially got the inside line, so let's see if he can just get a clean exit. A little bit of contact there on the exit as well, side by side, even more contact. 3 wide to go down the start finish straight, Dave, and this is all kicking off here in the C1s.
I never like seeing 3 wides getting closer and closer and closer to pit lane into that barrier, but somehow they've survived, and somehow they're still 3 wide. They're trying to make it 4 wide coming down the start finish straight here. Your race leader James Hitchin now ahead of Callum Conway, who's getting caught by Aidan Wilson. And let's have a look at this gaggle of cars. The 3 of them almost come across Duffus at exactly the same time here. Sam Corson now ahead of this little group here. He's got a little bit of clear air ahead of the 13 of Finlay Brunton, the 23 there of of Thomas Comer is fighting it out as well here. So really everything still to play for. 2 laps left to go, and as was said, James Hitchin out on that lead by 7/10 of a second. So again, just extending it ever so slightly more, and that now means that Martin Nisbet getting thrown to the wolves of Paul Winfield, Andrew Davidson and Finlay Brunton as well. As we see side by side then, this is Callum Conway trying to defend from Aidan Wilson. Wilson's going to get the cutback, try and get the better run here, goes to the outside, but that's going to be blocked by Callum Conway. But still, the momentum can't be stopped right now. They have to keep going. In fact, the best thing to do would be for Aidan Wilson to push Callum Conway up the road. And in fact, there we go. So James Hitchin, a little glitch in the time screen there shows James Hitchin dropping down the order, but he goes straight back up. And we're on to the last lap of the race then, flying over the hill then, and it's all about this top 3 right now. What can the 24 Aidan Wilson do? He goes round to the outside into McIntyre's. That forces Callum Conway to go really, really deep here, but Conway still has the momentum. Meanwhile, James Hitchin is going to be absolutely rubbing his hands with glee right now. He's not had anything to worry about in the past 3-4 laps at all, because he is almost home and dry, coming through Clark Corner for the last time. And wow, this has been such an incredible race here. Is it going to be a last corner lunge from Aidan Wilson? I don't think he's close enough. Callum Conway certainly has the measure of it. He looks to the middle of the track here. James Hitchin is going to be coming into the final corner. It's not for Aidan Wilson. Callum Conway has that corner locked off here. It's going to be a race win then in race number 1 for the Citroen C1s. James Hitchin is going to come across the line to take the win from Callum Conway. Aidan Wilson is going to take 3rd place. Mark Nisbet in 4th. And then in 5th place is going to be Paul Winfield. 6th place for Andrew Davidson. 7th place for Ross Dunn. Sam Corson finishes 8th after that 10th place there. Thomas Comer in 9th. And then Finlay Brunton in 10th, Rich Flett in 11th, Henry Gillespie in 12th, Gordon Melville in 13th position, Lazou Benet in 14th, and Katrina Gray finishing out in 15th. Ian Cochrane 16th and John Proctor in 17th position. Well, we have a little bit of time because these cars take a wee while getting back round here, Andy. Okay, how can a car that costs about £5,000 to fully spec out and race in be that much fun?
And it's a great advert for this championship as well, Dave, because James Hitchin started that race from 11th on the grid and has went and taken the win in the opener. I mean, if that doesn't underline just how competitive and how much fun this championship is, then I don't know what would. But that was a phenomenal drive from James Hitchin to take the opener. Great entertainment as well throughout the field. Callum Conway and Aidan Wilson having some fantastic action throughout there for the final podium places, but really, really enjoyable stuff there, and looking forward to more of the same later today. Awesome stuff. Well, we're going to say a very quick goodbye to Andy Alston for the moment, because we're away to bring in Malcolm Smith very shortly for the classic sports and saloons that are up next. He's going to jump out as Andy Alston to have a chat with our C1 top 3 just now, and what a race that was. Of course, big championship implications, of course, for that one, because as we went into this opening round, it was a very, very mixed affair for the little C1s. And it was, of course, Sam Corson who was in the lead of the championship by about 26 points over Finlay Brunton and James Hitchin. That is going to absolutely rocket James Hitchin back into championship contention. We'll get full points very, very shortly. In terms of the Newcomers Cup, though, that is also going to send James Hitchin to the top of the Newcomers Cup as well, with just another race left to go later on this afternoon. This next race for the C1s is going to be at 2:30 this afternoon, and we are waiting for the cars to make their way in. They're already over in the holding area, and we are just waiting for the cars to make themselves round. I can see the rather awesome Duncan Vincent also in the holding area as well. So without further ado, let's hand it over to Andy Alston in pit lane.
Yes, Dave, good, fantastic action there in the Scottish C1 Cup, but it's that man there, the 529 of James Hitchin, who takes the win in the opener here. Him and Callum Conway there had a great scrap throughout as well. Aidan Wilson on the podium also saw very, very entertaining action throughout. Let's grab a quick chat with our race winner though in the opener, the 529 car of James Hitchin, who joins us now. James, many congratulations. That was a stunning drive there, and it must have been very entertaining for you behind the wheel.
Oh, it was great fun. Qualifying, we felt we had the pace, but we just kept spinning. So in the race, it was just a case of make up as many positions as we could. We were hoping sort of maybe to get the reverse grid pole for race 2, but we ended up winning race 1. So everything worked out quite well in the opening laps. People sort of made the space, so I just took it, and it was great. Really good fun.
Tell us about that move to take the win as well, because it was one of those opportunities that just presented itself, and you just made it stick with a fantastic pass.
To be honest, I don't actually remember it. I just saw the opportunity and I went for it. I think it was at the hairpin. I might be wrong, but yeah, it was. As I said, like everyone was battling, and I just found a gap out the inside of the outside and put my car there, and it worked out quite well.
Great stuff, James. Many congratulations out there. Very well done. James Hitchin taking the win in the opener in the Scottish C1 Cup with a fantastic drive. Let's grab a quick chat with a couple of other drivers that are very delighted. Sam Claus, and congratulating him there, and rightly so. Great to see that camaraderie that we spoke about in the paddock as well. And let's grab a quick chat with a couple of drivers. Join Aidan Wilson in a wee moment. But let's catch up with our second place man, Callum Conway, the 1-1-10 car, because it was a fantastic race from him, who joins us now. Callum, many congratulations. A really entertaining drive for us to watch. How was it for you behind the wheel?
Stressful. No, I was trying to keep it in front as much as I could, and then Aidan tried a couple of moves into the hairpin, so I was like, well, I'll concede it to Aidan. Got back past him, and then I kind of went into a bit of a juggling for position, and then James got past, and then I thought, right, see if I can keep up with James. Kept up with James, and then just to finish from Aidan to the end, really. Second last lap, we got really close. I was getting a bit nervous. I was just waiting on that last lap board. So second I seen it, I thought, right, defensive line into every corner, and then that was it. Happy with that.
Excellent, great drive, very well done, Callum. Congratulations, Callum Conway, second place in the opener of the Scottish C1 Cup. Let's grab a quick chat with Aidan Wilson, who put on a fantastic show for us here in the Scottish C1 Cup. Aidan, many congratulations, great drive out there for you. Just sum up your emotions after that one.
Relieved, to be fair. I think I knew I had the pace in me. It was just showing it to everyone and showing it to myself that I could do it. So I think we've shown that now.
Yeah, and certainly one thing that Dave and myself picked up on throughout the race is you were really brave going into McIntyre's, in particular. We're going side by side. You were trying to make a move in there, and we see that sometimes with drivers where they just kind of hold position and then try and make the move potentially into Clark's or into the hairpin. But you were just going for it and trying to make the moves.
Yeah, I was just trying everything I could, to be honest. I sat behind Callum Conway at the beginning just to try and make a gap, but from there I seen a few opportunities, so I was just trying something different.